As a film blogger who specializes in chips, brothers, I'm back with a new movie. Today let's take a look at a new Southeast Asian horror film set to be released in 2025, Golden State Island. Southeast Asian horror films usually focus on folk religions, but this one abandons the traditional style and instead features a unique Nanyang, Southeast Asian horror vibe. It was shot on location in the tropical forests, making the film's suspenseful atmosphere feel even more authentic. In Malaysia, there's a small island that, from a distance, looks just like a skull. Legend has it that over 200 years ago, a group of indigenous people lived there. But overnight, all the villagers suddenly vanished. Some say a vicious witch killed all the villagers, but to this day, no one has ever found their bodies. More than 200 years have passed, and the events on the island have long been forgotten by the outside world. To prove who was the bravest, a group of young people actually decided to spend the night on the island as a way to show off. Little did they know, they had already stepped into a place of terror. As soon as they entered the island, Lily was captivated by a beautiful bird. Wanting to photograph the stunning hornbill, Lily chased after it into the forest. Worried about her companions followed her in as well. None of them realized they were heading deeper and deeper into the woods, and it was only when they finally stopped that they noticed. They arrived at an abandoned village, where terrifying scarecrows were planted everywhere. At the entrance to the village, a thick rope had been strung up, as if someone deliberately wanted to keep people out. From a distance, the village looked eerie and frightening, but the bold Daxi refused to believe in such superstitions. He pulled down the rope that was tied across the entrance.
Hahana Guru, Chakabad.
Seeing that nothing happened, the others followed Daxi inside. However, Kelly felt a vague sense of unease. Since they had to spend the night there, they found a dilapidated house. After a simple cleanup, they planned to stay here temporarily. At first, no one noticed anything unusual about the place, so they quickly fell asleep. However, in the middle of the night, the door suddenly creaked open. Mark, awakened by the noise, looked outside and saw the door opening by itself, as if someone was coming in. Mark broke out in a cold sweat from fear. Summoning his courage, he walked outside and saw a plume of blue smoke rising from the forest, which looked very eerie. Mark thought it was just a natural phenomenon unique to the forest. Seeing that everyone else was still sound asleep, he didn't wake them. After closing the door, he returned to his bed. The others, still asleep, didn't hear the faint sound of crying coming from the forest. It seemed that only Kelly could hear it. Before long, she was awakened by the sound. Wanting to find its source, she turned her head and witnessed a bizarre scene. All her friends suddenly sat up straight, but their eyes remained tightly shut. Kelly tried calling out to them, but they didn't respond at all. Then, one by one, they lay back down again. This terrifying scene sent chills down Kelly's spine. Just as she was hesitating about whether to wake her friends, the sorrowful cries echoed from afar once again. Following the sound, she went outside and saw a group of villagers surrounding a woman who was sobbing uncontrollably as she clung to a man lying on the ground. It looked like he was her husband. The woman was wailing in utter despair, but the villagers forcibly dragged her away. After the woman was forcibly taken away, the village chief ordered people to bury the man's body under a pile of stones, and before leaving, they even burned down their house. The woman watched all of this in grief, powerless to do anything, and could only crouch helplessly on